This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with Violent Gentlemen. And we're glad to say we're back with the G-Man, Graham McCormack. How are you, mate?
Good, pal.
It's definitely, it's 7 months since we last spoke, and you probably look about 24 now rather than 34.
That's only because I just done a float, man. I just feel I'm alive again now, you know. My body is rejuvenated after that, you know. You should see me when I get up in the morning. I look every bit of 34.
That's a fiver you owe me, by the way, for that compliment for saying you're 24. But
I'll buy you a drink in Belfast.
The last time, obviously, we spoke obviously back in February. You were potentially obviously looking forward to going out and fighting in North Carolina. Obviously, was called off with COVID, and then obviously the replanned date was called off. Obviously, it's probably not been, as well as running inactivity as well. It must have been even harder to deal with, particularly knowing when you're going to have a dream to fight in America and it's sort of held off. Is it still something that may potentially happen, or is it sort of boat sailed on that one now?
Will America still happen, like? Is that what you mean? Yeah, look, I mean, it was very, very tough at the time because I was buzzing. Obviously, I was buzzing to be back in the ring. And of course, every fighter wants to fight in America, man. You know what I mean? And I really wanted to go and fight in America. So when it got obviously shut down twice from the COVID, it was fucking gut wrenching, man. You know, but I get on with Chris Glover really well. He's a really nice guy. So there is an option there for me in the future, 100%. You know what I mean? So like, I definitely will get there at some point. That's something I know for sure. Before I finish up boxing, I will have a fight in America. Right now, that's not in my plans right now. But I definitely would like to do it. You know, even just once, to say that I've done it as a fighter, fought in America, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking at in the future, down the line. But right now, it's not what's on the agenda, or it's not next or anything like that, you know.
And obviously, no fight, and I know you just fought obviously last weekend there, but no fight for 27 months, and you trained throughout all of 2021. Sort of, I remember obviously having a laugh and a joke when you're training and the washing machine was going, and you were timing your punches to the spin of the washing machine. But you've been training flat out throughout most of the year. How hard was it? Was it hard to stay motivated knowing that fights were falling through, or how did you keep yourself motivated to know that these bad times aren't going to last, and you're sort of going to come through and you're going to get a fight?
Yeah, look, was it tough? Yeah, when the fights were falling through, it was definitely tough mentally. Especially, I had loads of sponsors on board, and I was training so hard for it, and I was excited about it. But like, I mean, I think I said it to last time I was talking. Like, I've dealt with adversity all my life. You know what I mean? I've dealt with tough times all my life. And I'm here today because I was able to get through those tough times. So with the boxing, you're involved in boxing, man. You know that it's massive. It's a gut wrenching sport at times for all fighters. It's very, very tough for any fighter. Like, especially with fights getting cancelled and stuff like that. So yeah, it was definitely tough. But training is really good for me mentally. You know what I mean? It really helps my recovery, and stuff like that. So I train anyway. But the hardest part, I suppose, for me was keeping the weight down. Like, I'm a big guy, like, so like, I love eating, you know what I mean? But I put on weight so easily, man. Like, so I dieted most of the year. Like, not dieted, like, I'm never going to be a ripped 6-pack fighter. That's just not who I am. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be a bit of a chubby guy, like, but I still kept the weight down relatively well. So I was really happy with that. So once I seen that the weight wasn't going up, I was like, let's keep training. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Obviously, I was back and forth with my manager Ian Cochran and my coach Sean Kelly and all my team, the lads down below. So I said, let's keep training. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And fair play to Ian Cochran, because he busted his balls. Like, he busted his balls and got me a fight. You know what I mean? And then he got me the Luxembourg fight. That fell through. That was out of our hands. There was nothing we could do about it. Then there was another couple of fights that he was looking at getting, and then obviously, a big shout out to Sam Kinnock as well, who put me on his show. But like, I just stayed positive. I knew my team around me were gonna do their best to get me a fight. I stayed positive. I stayed focused, and it paid off in the end. You know what I mean? And I know I waited a long time for the fight, man. But if I had have thrown in the towel when the first America fight got cancelled, or the second America fight got cancelled, or the Luxembourg fight got cancelled, I wouldn't be sitting here now 6-0 after having a great fight the weekend. I'd be still humming and hawing whether or not I was going to fight again. Like, so at least out of staying in shape and training all year round, I'm after getting a fight. You know what I mean? So it just benefited me to stay in the gym, man.
It's one of these things, I guess, obviously, from what you've been through in life, and we're not sort of going to keep dragging it
Yeah,
on, but what you've been through in life is probably, at stages, probably got you bulletproof, where probably when a fight was cancelled, you probably just went, haha, and you just laughed it off pretty much because
yeah.
nothing's going to affect you. And I guess, not that I've sort of been through similar to yourself, Graham, but my missus always goes to me, why do you never show any emotion? Why does everything seem so strong? But it's just like, everything stays positive, no matter what the negative is. There's a positive to outweigh it. So,
Of
right, the
course.
fight hasn't fallen through. Right, I can go for dinner with the missus at the weekend, or I can take the kids to the park. You always thought of something else rather than just drowning on the negative that can sort of get them.
There's always someone else in a worse situation. I remember someone said to me one time, I won't tap on about it, but it really stuck in my head. It has never left me, especially when times are tough in life and with boxing or with anything. It's like there's somebody lying in a bed, dying, taking their last breath, wishing they had what you had now. And when I heard that, I was like, anytime things going wrong, like remember that, like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
That somebody somewhere is taking their last breath, wishing they had what I had right now. So it's never so bad that you can't move on from it, like no matter what it is, especially in the boxing game. You know what I mean? It's okay. We dust ourselves off and we go again. You know what I mean? It is what
Mm.
it is, like,
It's like a bad round as well. Obviously, if a bad round, you get back to the corner, and Sean goes, right, Graham, wise up, and that's it. The switch, the bad
Yeah.
switch is gone. It's a good switch is on. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just wanted to sort of touch on that a wee bit, obviously, about the fights falling through, because we're seeing it quite a lot recently. Obviously, a lot of shows in England are getting cancelled because journeymen aren't renewing their contracts for their licenses. Irish fighters nearly weekly are sort of, I know Kathy McAleer, I think she did 4 or 5 fights
Yeah, I've seen that, man. I
falling
don't know
through
that
this
girl,
year.
but man, that's gut wrenching. Look, I just seen you posted yesterday. I,
Hmm.
I was like, oh my god, that's fucking harsh. Because I think I don't know her now, but I've seen on your page and all, and like that she's had like 3 or 4 fights cancelled pretty recently enough. Like that's
Hmm.
hard, man.
Definitely is. And it's obviously just sometimes that if somebody sees it from you having cancelled fights and they go, Graham said it well, I'll stick to that, and everything's sweet with it. Um, but but obviously now you've returned to the ring, you probably nearly feel like a phase two of Graham McCormack's come out now. You pretty much had like your first 5 fights within 21 months, and then
Yeah,
obviously 26 months of run activity. You're nearly inactive more as a boxer than you were active.
as it was active. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's
It
pretty
it it,
much.
it
Go ahead.
it feels great to be back. Like it was almost surreal. Like it was like, all right, I'm back. But until I was in the ring looking across Jordan Latimer, I didn't feel I was back until I was in the ring. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's when it was real for me. Like when I was getting punched in the face, like, all right, oh look, I'm back. Like it's overwhelming to be back. It was so good to be back. You know what I mean? You can never, there's never nothing like the buzz of a fight, man. You know what I mean? There's never, or the buzz of a fight night, and it was such a great show to be on. Like, I was just delighted to be back, man.
And I know I was speaking with Lee Reeves and obviously meals and stuff the other day, and I think he was 2 days out from the fight, and he didn't know what the opponent, who it was going to be, and things like that. And I was sort of saying, keep strong. Not that I was sort of having to will him on, but I was like, you probably can't really guarantee until you're the opposite side of the ring from the person.
Yeah,
You go, the fight's
yeah.
happening.
And he boxed very well as well. He done very well. I watched his fight. He boxed very well. He did, yeah.
I never got to
But it's
see
boxing,
Lee.
isn't it? Like they changed the opponent. Like, I think I changed the opponent. Then we were going to get in another opponent, and he couldn't make it. So then obviously Jordan Latimer said, "Yeah, I'll fight." So like I was like, "Yeah, let's go. It's a great fight." You know what I mean? So just boxing right now. Fair play to the promoters and the managers and stuff like that, because I can't imagine it's easy. Like, you know what I mean? Right now, when the times are in, like.
Exactly. I never got to see Lee's fighting Saturday night 'cause I had to go and buy a car. Sort of a car come up that I wanted, and I was like, need to go. So sort of missed the fight. So I've been sort of looking to wait for it to catch up on it again.
It's on
But
YouTube.
I think it's on YouTube. I haven't got a chance
No,
to
it's on
look yet.
YouTube now. I watched it the other night. Yeah,
I'll have to watch it.
box
But
very, he boxed very well, very well.
obviously good for Limerick. Obviously the two he's out within the same weekend. So he's
Yeah, it
nearly
was
had an
brilliant, man.
open top bus parade when he's come back.
There's a great buzz around the city, you know what I mean? Like Limerick is buzzing at the minute. There's so many pros, you know what I mean? Myself, Lee, Paddy, Jason, Jamie, Edward, and Siobhan, the place is buzzing, man, and then you've the amateur boxing is back. Sean Kelly just opened his own club, Limerick is really buzzing right now with boxing, man. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really buzzing. Like, so it's great. It's actually, I'm delighted to be a part of it, man,
You're like the Godfather. You're probably This is where I'm losing the fiver back from here now. I'm obviously you're the oldest of them, so you're sort of.
I'm the old man. Yeah. I'm the,
Yeah.
I'm the old man. It's okay. You know what, but I've come to terms with the fact that I'm the old one. It's cool. I'm okay with it.
Yep.
Just means I have to work harder in the gym, you know.
Granda G.
I love it. That's what the G stands for in G Trent, or Granda. Granda Trent.
Granda train. But obviously your opponent Jordan Latimer on Saturday night. He's obviously had a war of words. I think back in 2018, where obviously online he sort of had a bit of beef, and then he lost to John Doherty, and you'd sort of seen that he wasn't in the right place, and probably shows the person that you are, Graham, that you sort of reached out and made sure everything was all okay with him. But it sort of probably meant, I know that it's been published online today, you sort of had a bit of beef before the fight. So was it sort of like a Jekyll and Hyde moment? 2018, he's at the war of words. You then reached out to him and obviously give him words of comfort, and then it was just like, right, it's time for a fight. We need to.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was a kind of caught up in the moment thing, like obviously there was a bit of tension. Like we were sitting down in the hotel before we went in, and he walked past with his crew, and we kind of just threw a few eyes at each other. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't anything serious. Like, and then obviously we went to weigh in. There was nothing really said at the weigh in. He said good luck. I said good luck. That was it. We walked on, and then the night of the fight, we're like, the rooms were next to each other, and like I walked in and he said something, but then he said something else, but he didn't say it to me, but I thought he did. So I walked in and I said, who the fuck you talking to, you fool, you fucking this, that, and the other, excuse my language. And he got up my face, I got up in his face, and all the boys got in. Like, looking back on it now, it was funny, but it was just a heat of the moment thing. Like, I've nothing against Jordan, I've not more respect for Jordan now, but it actually made for a more entertaining fight, because we were itching then to get in the ring. Like, it was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and he was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So there was no, and even at that point, I knew it was just going to be a war. Like, I knew there was going to be no feeling out process or no touching around. It was going to be, let's meet head on, like, and batter each other. Like, that's, I knew there and then, like, that's what I was going into for the 4 rounds, like, So yeah, look, no hard feelings toward Jordan or any of his team. They're all really nice blokes, and he definitely gained my respect that night, and that was just a heat of the moment thing, you know what I mean? I think we were both kind of up here, with the tension, like, looking back, I know it's funny, like, but at the time, Sam, obviously someone had said it to Sam, like, the lads are arguing in the back. Sam came in, like, lads, leave him for the fucking ring, like, will you? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, sorry.
And obviously your thoughts on the fight then, have you watched it back since you've come home, or you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you've cut your.
He came out about the fight, yeah. He came out all guns blazing, man, and he caught me by surprise in the first minute, you know what I mean? But I composed myself, I kept my hands high, my head was moving, and I started picking the shots. I really enjoyed the fight, man, you know what I mean? Like I said to you before, like, I'm not the prettiest fighter. I never said I was. Even when I turned pro, I never said I was. I'm tough, I'm rough, and I'm ready. I'm old school. I like having a war, you know what I mean? That's what I like doing. But when I did pick shots in my box and I picked him, I landed all the clean blows after the first round. He didn't really land anything clean after the first round. He caught me a couple of shots first round. I mean, won't take that away from him. But after that, my hands were very high and my head was moving a lot, It was I definitely enjoyed it. Watching it back, I really enjoyed the fight, you know what I mean? It was an enjoyable fight. That's what everyone was saying to me, you know what I mean? When I got out of the ring, I was like, I could have done this and I could have done that and I should have done this and I should have done that. But I suppose in the heat of the moment, with the argument we had before the fight, it was exactly how it was going to be planned out. It was the two of us meeting in the middle of the ring, and it was, the boxing went out the window, and it was who's going to come out on top here, like, you know what I mean? Who's going to land more punches, and who's going to come out on top, and that's the way it went. And I strongly feel I came out on top in every round. The first round, I think they gave it a draw, but the second, third, and fourth round, I won well, you know what I mean? I landed all the cleaner blows, I landed cleaner shots, and I defended well,
Is it the sort of fight you needed, where you needed sort of like a phone box battle, these sort of, because you're never going to be one that's going to stand off and sort of try and jab the head of someone all night and not engage. You want to have a dust up, you want to have a war. Is that the sort of fight that reinvigorates you and goes, this is why I'm in the sport. The 26 months of not fighting have been worth it because I've now had a proper fight.
Exactly. That was exactly. Look, that was the fight. I couldn't have asked for a better fight to come back after 26 months off. You know, if I gotten a journeyman in who was just there to survive and dance around for the few ropes, yeah, I would have got the rounds in, like, but what would I have learned or gained from it? I can take a lot away from that fight tonight. What I should have done, what I didn't do, and what I did do. You know what I mean? We can look back on it now. We've good plans now. I'm back training today. I'm back in full camp Monday. So we've good plans now what to take away from that fight and what we need to work on for the next fight. And that's what boxing and life are about. It's about learning as you go along. You know what I mean? And when I turned pro, I knew I was going to have to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? I knew that was the way it was going to go for me, and that's the way it is. You know, I just have to learn as I go along, and I can take a lot away from that fight. A lot of positives, a couple of negatives in there, of course. I mean, but a lot of positives take away from the fight. And it was definitely a fight that I really enjoyed, and I couldn't have asked for a better fight to come back to. I rather those fights, Steve. Like, I rather the fights where everyone's on the edge of their seat. There's punches being thrown from both fighters, you know, and it's really entertaining to watch. Like, and they're the fights I want, man. You know.
And probably your most biggest memory you probably take from Glasgow the weekend, is obviously watching your wee boy in the fight.
That was unbelievable, man. Listen, like I said to you before we got on here, man, it's priceless what that means to me. Like, what my son walking me to the ring, you know, his face when we walked to the ring. I spoke into his ear before we left. I said, "You ready to go?" He said, "Yeah, let's go, Dad." You know, like, and we walked out together, and watching him jumping around when I was fighting. There's videos of him jumping around, and man, it's just that will never be. That's what it's all about for me. But is that right there? Is giving him these memories for him to go on and have and box in the future and have a good life. Because I know what boxing has given me in my life today. You know what I mean? And he seems to want to go on the road, and he's really good. He's better defense and movement than me, anyway. That's for sure. You know, already, and he's only 6. You know, so if he keeps at it, man, like, these are memories he's never going to forget, man. He'll always remember this. Like, you know what I mean? Me walking my dad to the ring, and you know, all that stuff. Like, you know, it's unbelievable, man. Like, I'll never forget it, man. You know, this kind of stuff is like, I lost all this, man, years ago. Like, I lost my family, I lost everything, and now to have these memories, these moments, now nothing else comes close to it, man.
It definitely is, and, like, you know, I know when I always bring people on asking when they started boxing and why. Your wee lad's going to obviously follow in your footsteps and obviously boxing, but
yeah,
you know what boxing can do. You know, it might obviously do boxing for a few years and go, "Dad, I want to be Ronaldo instead," you know, or something like that. So, but at least if you know, you can give them the fundamentals of obviously respect and obviously being able to defend themselves and things like that. That's the wee things you want to add, so that when they then grow up, they can make their own decisions in life.
Exactly, but exactly. That's all I can do. I can help try and guide him down the right road. You know what I mean? And hopefully he'll want to box. Hopefully.
And was that your first fight under Sean then, was it?
Yeah, that was my first under Sonic. Can I just give him a big mention, man? Because, like, he gave me absolutely bang on instructions in the corner. When I came back to the corner, I completely listened to him. I tried to do exactly what he said, but he kept me calm. You know, Sean is an unbelievable coach, man. I know he's only up and coming and he's young, but he's unbelievable, man. People don't see what he does. He's improved my boxing 100%. You know what I mean? My head, I had no head movement before, but I never moved my head before in my life. I was get the head jabbed off me. Whereas now, if you look back in the fight, you see that nothing really clean landed on me, but because I was moving my head so much. You know what I mean? So I've upped my game, and I will continue to up my game with Sean. I will continue to get better and develop as a fighter with Sean. And anyone that's training under him, look at Jamie Morrissey, man. Jamie Morrissey is a fantastic boxer now. He never boxed until he met Sean. You know what I mean? You know, no, Jamie works very, very hard, and he's dedicated, and that obviously is a big part of it. But Sean, of course, and his work with Jamie has made him a fantastic boxer. Jamie's a really good boxer. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight next week. You know what I mean? All the lads he's working with down the gym, like, you know, he's an unbelievable coach, man. You know, and I have to give him a big shout out and a big mention. You know, and I can't wait to win some titles with him. You know.
I'm looking forward to meeting Sean for the first time next week.
Yeah.
Obviously for the way
he's mad as a brush, like. He is mad as a fucking brush. Well, you'll like him. You'll get on with him.
But he has to be whenever he's obviously got the likes of yourself and Jamie and everybody else in the gym. He has to be just like you. Otherwise, it's not going to fit in.
It's a Limerick thing, Steve. We're all fucking mad down here, but.
But sure, if it keeps you smiling and keeps you happy, exactly what to be.
Exactly, what? Exactly.
You sort of mentioned there that you come back in the camp again. So I'm guessing, obviously, I don't want you to obviously come out and say anything, but I'm guessing you're hopefully going to have another fight again soon.
Yeah, look, I also want to give a big shout out to my manager, Ian Cochran. Like I said in earlier on in the interview, but he's a great guy, great manager, real good, like a great time for him, man. But he's a non-stop worker, you know what I mean? He's a non-stop. He really is there for his fighters, you know what I mean? And he's already got me a fight date. It'll be announced next week, and it's a tasty one, you know, like what more can you ask for? Like, you know what I mean? I'm only after finishing the fight, and now I've already got a fight date already. You know, also a shout out to Sam Kinnock as well for having me on the show, and looking forward to working with him again in the future. Another great guy, you know. But Ian's a really good guy, man. He's really worked around the clock to get me active and keep me active now. You know, that's the plan going forward. As we said, I'm not getting any younger, Steve. You know what I mean? The granddad trend needs to keep on moving. I need to keep on fighting. So yeah, I'll have a fight soon, bud. Soon.
And like as I sort of said to you off camera, you know, I sort of always have like a laugh and a joke before we get going. But at 34, you know, you're not going to have another 10 years, say for instance, in the sport. But you're very, you know, you're coming up now. I think in December will be your 4 years as a pro. But
yeah,
you still feel very young and very fresh. And it just sort of taking opportunities as they come now. You know, it's, you know, at the end of the day, if a fight's going to get offered to you, you're not going to go, I don't want it. You know, if you can get fights and get opportunities and hopefully a few pound out of it, then happy days.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not going to be going away taking fights against one another. Like, I'm going to take fights, 50-50 fights that are good fights. You know what I'm saying? I meaningful fights. They're the fights I want. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to do going forward. I mean, I'm going to stay ready and take the fights that come to me. We have a good plan in place now. Going forward, we know what we want, and it's looking like that. If I keep doing what I need to do, that's the way it's going to pan out. And then after that, we look what happens after that, you know. But right now, we have our plan in place. We have fights in place, and that's what we're going after right now. We're not going to let anything take us off that. But then when that's done, who knows? Yeah, I'd like to take a couple of fights and get a few quid for it. Then after that, you know, it'd be great.
Definitely be nice to know that you're stepping in through the ropes and you're obviously getting a few pound for it rather than having to give a few pound out.
Because you know, when you're involved in boxing, you know, there's no money in boxing.
No, definitely not.
You know, so it would be nice. It would be nice after I get a Celtic and another title to get a couple of big fights in, man. You know, that'd be great. Like,
definitely, it's having these small and long-term goals that keep you motivated and keep the passion sort of burning.
Well, it's realistic goals anyway. You know what I mean? I have small, realistic goals. You know what I mean? A Celtic title, another title, that'd be the cream of the crop for me. It'd be unbelievable, man. It'd be unbelievable to have them. You know, I could walk away with my head held high and never pick up a pair of gloves again if I wanted to. You know what I mean? That from what I've come from to achieve something like that, that would be unbelievable, man. So for me, right now, that's all I see. I don't see anything else. That's all I see. You know, is a Celtic title and another title. That's all I see in my head, and that's all I want right now. And that's the road we're going down, and we're hopefully going to get those fights. And it's looking like we're going to be getting those fights. So I'm very excited, and I'm very happy about what's coming. You know, what's coming in my future, and I'm going to work hard. And to beat me, these guys are going to have to kill me nearly in the ring, man, to beat me. You know, I'll do whatever I have to do to get the win. You know.
And obviously, I've come to end my questions, but obviously, I know you're a big Man U fan, the same as myself. Have you sort of got off the buzz yet of Ronnie being back at Old Trafford?
No, man, I'm never going to get off that buzz. It is the greatest. That's the greatest comeback story in sports history. I don't care. He is unbelievable, man. People are like, oh, he's 36. So what? So Jerome made me laugh. Someone said to me, man, all he's going to do is hang around in the box. I said, yeah, and fucking score goals. Who cares if he hangs around in the box? I don't care what he does. The guy is, listen, we're going to do extremely well. You know it. I know it. Look at the way they're playing now. I know like last week we didn't kind of fell apart for us, man, but whoa, one bad game. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. You know, I think it's, people are worried, you know, again about Man United. I really do. Whereas, you know yourself, like last couple of years, people are like, oh, Man United, what side's going to go up? It seems now, man, Ronaldo's a leader, man. You know what I mean? Like, and he's leading the crap now, like, you know. So it's definitely an exciting time to be a Man United fan, but
it rekindles the sort of youth we would have had, obviously, because we're both in our 30s. I'm a few years older than you in the 30s, but obviously I can remember Ronaldo first coming on the scene at United and doing 300 step overs before he put the ball in the box. Then now you're looking at him coming back full circle. It's crazy.
I think it's unbelievable, man. It's just my young fella plays soccer. He loves soccer as well, like, but he loves Ronaldo and Messi, like. So when I told him, but do you remember the day before they were saying he was going to Man City?
Yeah.
And I was like, son, Ronaldo's going to Man City. He's like, no, Dad, he's not. I was like, he is, son. Said we never know watch him again. And then I was talking. I was like, hold on a minute. Rio Ferdinand shared that tweet that morning, and I was like, he's going to United. So when he came back to United, man, it was just unbelievable.
Oh, brilliant. So I'm obviously guessing you have a week off sort of this week. What's on the sort of are you picking out too much sort of on this week off?
No,
before you
but
back in?
I'm not, because I have the slowest metabolism known to man. So if I pick out for 3 or 4 days, but I'm genuinely 5 or 6, 7 kilos heavier. So I'm not. I actually went back to the gym today. I went back eating normal Monday. You know, I'm not doing what I've done before, but I'm a lot older now than I was 26 months ago. And it's a lot harder for me to get the weight down. You know, that's being honest, like, you know, let's call it spade a spade. It's very easy for me to put it on, very hard for me to get it off. So no, I'm back to the gym. I'm not going to go back punching until Monday, because I actually damaged my rotator cuff my last spar. So the week of the fight, I didn't even throw my left hand because it was so sore. So obviously I knew the adrenaline in the fight would get me through, you know what I mean? So I knew I'd be fine during this fight. So it's actually really sore. So I'm not going to punch at all this week. My physio said not to punch. So I'm just went back to the gym today, just done a bit of a run. Just back normal light training, and then back full camp then Monday.
Fantastic. Well, Gee, but obviously it's been great catching up with you again. Obviously, of the relief of knowing, obviously 9 days time we'll get a good catch up in person as well. It obviously called the Clash 12.
Yeah.
But obviously it's great to get a catch up. Say I can't believe it's been so long. We'll obviously not leave the next one we have you on for so long.
Yeah.
You know,
no bother,
when obviously if your next fight out of the way, you know, whenever that's going to be, we'll obviously get, I'm sure, another catch up and get another good yarn, and hopefully United will be well clear at the top of the league by that stage as well.
Listen, it's Christmas. We're going to be number 1. Numero uno, we're going to be.
Definitely is. But look, it's been great getting a catch up with you again, and I'll see you next weekend in Belfast.
Thanks, Dave. See you next weekend, bud. God bless you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.